Okay, well, I'll share my screen. Welcome, everybody. Tell us where you're coming from in the chat. Tell us if it's still June, where you're coming from, or some other crazy day. Uh, okay, here we are. Welcome to Friday Night Comics. It is a beautiful, at least here on the eastern part of the United States, a beautiful summer Friday evening. And if you are on Zoom like we are, you got to have a good reason. Um, and it's Friday Night Comics. It might be some other day where you are. It might even be a winter day because we know we have Southern Hemisphere people. Anyway, here we go. You're at the Sequential Artists Workshop. Thanks for joining us for Friday Night Comics. We are SAW. We are a 501c3 nonprofit. We are an arts organization. You can find our courses and things we teach at learn.sawcomics.org. Here's some of the things coming up. Shame Stories with Kara Gormley starts in a couple of days. I think Monday it starts, and some talks with Rob Clow starts on Wednesday, I think, or Thursday. You'll see more. This is over on the right is usually where we put next week's thing, but I was in a rush today. So this is tonight. We have Explore the Self as a Bird with Robert James Russell next. And I'll tell you about next week in a moment. There's Kara Gormley's blurb. Go look for that at learn.sawcomics.org, as well as Rob Clow's talks. That's what we've got for summer. Oh, look at that. Let's zoom out. That is next week. We have Sarah Firth coming in next week, riffing off reality. So that's next week. We're enrolling for the certificate program, the year-long certificate program that starts in September. You can join in on a free 1 hour workshop where you learn about a little sliver of what you'll learn in the whole course. And you can find out, go to that QR code or go to that URL. And you can find out when those free trainings are happening. They're happening weekly through July and August. And that I'll pop that QR code up again. Also, if you're going to be in Florida in July 22nd to 26th, we're doing a SAW workshop. I'm really excited by that. We're doing a week-long in-person workshop. Anyway, SAW survives and thrives from tuitions and donations and people like you. So thanks for donating. If you donated tonight, that matters a lot. We really appreciate it. If you donate it in some other way, that helps a lot too. Thank you. You can donate PayPal or Patreon or various other places, and we'll put that in the chat. You can also become a sustaining member. Okay, we'll get ready. No inappropriate speech or imagery, please. No trolling or hate speech. Please keep the sharing to a PG-13. Share tonight on social media. Hashtag Friday Night Comics. At Comics Workshop is our hashtag. Rob is Rob Hollywood. I'll put that in the chat. You can also come to members.sawcomics.org. You can also find stuff at Seesaw Comics, such as the weekly PDFs we've been doing from these workshops that have been super fun. And you go to Seesaw Comics, you look for Friday Night Comics, and you find our PDF of some of the shared work. It's been really fun to do those and put those together. Okay, there's that QR code again. There's that bit thing. I'll put that in the chat as well. Enjoy. Here we are, exploring the self as a bird. Who are you as a bird and why? Rob, I'm really excited that we're convening again. Let me figure out how to stop sharing. There we are. Yeah, anyway, thanks for being here. I'm really excited to see what is going to happen. And I'm excited to fly or crawl like a bird. I'm going to spotlight you in a second. Are you ready? Okay, there you go. And you can tell us,
Cool.
and my job, I'll be in the chat. I'll be summarizing what you're saying for people who want it written out and stuff. But otherwise, I'm just going to let you go for however long you want to go.
Fantastic. Hi,
Okay.
everyone. It is not nice here in Lincoln, Nebraska. It
No.
is balmy, and being indoors is the only the only option. I saw somebody in the chat from Ann Arbor, Michigan. I lived in Ann Arbor for 6 years, so yay. Um, I lived in LA for a year too, but I don't talk about that. So sorry, LA person. Yeah, my name is Robert James Russell, Rob, whatever. I have a PowerPoint because I am a teacher and it's what I do. So I'm going to kind of go through some of that, introduce myself, and kind of build up to what we're going to do tonight, and then switch over to some live drawing as we kind of all draw together, if that's sounds all right.
Sounds awesome.
Let's
That's what we
see.
want.
Yeah, sounds pretty good. Okay. So can everyone see this, I think?
Mhm.
Cool. Okay. So me. I always feel like I have to be defensive about my screen name, Rob Hollywood. It was an old AOL screen name that I just started using for social media, and here we are. It is what
Yeah.
it is. I don't feel like changing it, you know?
No.
No. Why do that? I'm from Grand Rapids, Michigan originally. I've been living in Lincoln, Nebraska for 5 years. Really love it here. I think it's very beautiful and people don't give it enough props, to be perfectly honest. There's my bio that I don't really like reading out loud, but you can check it out if you want to. Um, Definitely follow me on Instagram because I'm trying to follow more artists and creators and fantastic people on Instagram. So if you're on Instagram, that'd be great. And then I have a website that I don't really update very much, so you can sort of ignore that. I guess the point I'll talk about this is, and because I'm talking a little bit about it in the next few minutes, is I'm currently working on a graphic memoir called Hard Body about body dysmorphia and rigid representations of masculinity in the media and how that kind of leads to toxic masculinity and um, religious trauma and family trauma and all the hits, all the
Yeah.
hits. Um, so that's kind of what I'm working on at the moment. So this is also really nice just to kind of draw birds, to be honest, to get away from some of that is pretty fantastic. I also run a Substack. I have to pitch. I'm sorry, it's a selfless plug, but
Do
I
it.
run a Substack called How to Draw. It's a monthly Substack where I pick a different topic. These two images are from the one where I was talking about how we draw food, and I find other comic examples and I put some stuff in there. And this is a recipe for my weird family recipe of tomato bread, which I don't know if anybody else eats this, but we loved it growing up. Um, yeah, so that's my pitch for that. So let's jump into this. Why non-human avatars? I'm a really big fan of drawing non-human avatars. And there's lots of reasons, but I think these are three pretty good ones. Um, I think if I had to sum this up even quicker, TLDR as the youth say,
Mhm.
I would say because it offers a certain amount of distance between us and our problems, which I think is really cathartic and helpful. Um, I don't want to get ahead of myself. I'm going to talk about in a moment, but I think when we're dealing with difficult things and we draw actual representations of ourselves on the page, I think it can be very, very difficult to process that way. Um, there's some really fun, fantastic things you can do when you start making yourself not human in stuff. These are, again, three of many different ways, reasonings that you could use to draw yourself as a non-human. My book that I'm working on deals with body dysmorphia and religious trauma and some self-harm and all that kind of stuff too. And what I found when I was making this, when I first started drawing this, or even coming up with the ideas for what I wanted to do for this, and I was drawing myself as human, it was too raw, and I couldn't. I was just seeing myself on the page, and it was very difficult to process. I'm in a much better place now about that, but what was born out of that was drawing myself as a rabbit. um, I had a pet rabbit once. I really, really like rabbits. I mostly it was just kind of easy to draw as well too, and I liked it. And it was a good representation of when I'm talking about my body and not quite feeling human, right? Not feeling like I'm supposed to be feeling. No one else in the book that I'm working on is an animal. It's just me represented as a rabbit in the book. And that sort of became a thing that I felt very comfortable doing. I'm in a better place on it. I've been working on the book for a while, but I still think it works pretty well, especially when I'm talking about some bigger, deeper issues, and I need that mileage between us. I think that's very, very helpful. This is a representation of a bunch of different avatars that I've had over the years. So a little bit of background for me, I guess I should say, I from like 0 to 16, I was convinced that I would go to art school. Like that was it. And then I discovered, um, let me put it this way. I suppose my desires of what I wanted to create outpaced my abilities very quickly, and I got really frustrated, and I started really going towards writing, and I fell in love with writing, and I've been fortunate enough to publish a few books here and there. It's great. In about 2019, I started really getting back into drawing, and it felt like magically this part of me that I didn't even realize was missing was back. It was really fantastic. And this is sort of over the years as I've been trying to figure out like how to draw myself. And even this is outdated because I have new ways of drawing myself and stuff, but showing like how the kind of stuff I wanted to focus on. There's some stuff that I lingered for a while, and then that sudden turn to making the rabbit that I call Robbit, which yeah, Robbit. Um, it's just a fascinating process. I think it's really cool. I taught a class last year for Saw for one of these Friday things where we were drawing ourselves as different objects and things like that. So I think there's a lot of really cool things you can do with that. Why birds? Okay, I have a little, well-written answer to that on the page. The real answer is, I'll be honest, the last few months have been uh, busy and stressful and sometimes terrible and sometimes fantastic. And there's been a lot of stuff happening, lots of stressors, internal and external. And drawing birds is fun. And I was like, this, could I actually make a class where all we're doing is drawing birds? Yes. Yes, I can do that. Yes, why not? Why not do that? And that's really it. But I thought it's a great way. It's a great way to explore the self. Like, who are we? And looking at different personalities. I mean, these personalities, peacock for confidence. I mean, those things might seem very obvious, but that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. And
No.
I put together, when I was putting this together, I made this quadrant graph that I spent way too much time on. Um, so if we're looking at colorful versus plain, and I want to clarify, there's nothing wrong with plain. Plain is great. Okay. I have a sparrow tattoo on my arm. I love sparrows. People might call them plain. They're fantastic. And then mean and curious. And I was thinking about where some of these personalities of birds, I guess colorful and plain are not necessarily personalities, but descriptors of birds might fit. So an eagle, a bald eagle, I thought, okay, I guess it's kind of colorful. I mean, it's got the white head, right? And I don't know if they're particularly mean. I don't. This is all subjective. Okay, you can put a bald eagle wherever you want to. Okay, crows. I love crows. I'm fascinated by them. I think they're very curious. Obviously, kind of put them down in the plane. I know they can be mean, but I think they're wonderful little creatures, and I love them very much. Owls. Owls are kind of terrifying. And here's my pitch: if you're not scared of owls, you should be. That's all I'm going to say about that. They're very scary. Okay, so they're kind of plain. They blend in, but they're terrifying. Um, that is a sparrow because I really like house sparrows, and they're fairly plain, but also, a little bit curious here and there. I have some that I feed that are getting used to me now over time, which is kind of fun. That is a cardinal. I guess it should probably be a blue jay. I don't actually know if cardinals are as mean as blue jays. I really like blue jays, and every time I tell someone I like blue jays, they're very quick to point out that blue jays are really, really mean. Fair. I still like them though, but let's consider that to be a blue jay. And then we have a parrot. And a barn swallow. And barn swallows, I think, are the meanest birds. I mean, if you're within like 20 yards of a nest, you're gonna get dive bombed, right? Like they're mean. And a flamingo, colorful, maybe a little curious, but maybe just a little closer to the line there, just kind of colorful and kind of doing their own thing. So this was just a way to kind of think about who you want to be and personality traits representing, and it can change. It doesn't have to be one thing, and that's what we're gonna draw tonight for a little while. We're gonna draw a couple different examples of things because we are multifaceted beings, right? We're not just one thing. I can be representative of this, and this at the same time. So, two things we're gonna do tonight. Number one, I want you to draw yourself. It doesn't actually have to be three, right? Draw yourself in as many different variations of birds that show off different parts of your personality as you feel comfortable with. I'm going to draw three. I've been thinking about which I have three. I've been thinking about which three I was going to draw, and really think about how they might be. Again, this might shift. The three I'm choosing to talk about today, I don't know that they'd be my three even tomorrow, but today, right now, and after this week, they're my three. And then the second one, I'm going to make a one-panel comic. Just in the interest of time, but if you want to make a 2, 3, 4 panel comic, something, but I'd like you to take one of these birds that you come up with and feature it in some sort of story or interaction with its surroundings or other people where that personality that you're choosing to focus on can sort of come out, if that makes sense. Yeah, and that's what we're going to do tonight. And I will awkwardly now try to transition to my phone.
That's all right. We got you while you do that. Unique
Okay,
traits and personality. I'm putting it in the chat.
cool. I'll okay, I'm hopping on my phone.
Okay, we'll let you do that, and and also in the chat, maybe people can mention birds that are or personality traits, and people can sort of get a conversation about that going in the chat. Because I remember when I found out about bowerbirds, for instance, I was like, how come nobody told me this until I was 30 years old? Or
I am drawing a bowerbird tonight. That's one
are
of my
you?
birds
I'm
at the
gonna
moment.
be, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to do some research too. So because I don't exactly know what they look like. So that's super cool. We are gonna have to spotlight the other Rob when we find. Oh, look, now he's sharing. That's good actually. But I don't know where the other Rob is. Okay, so we're gonna spotlight. There we go. Oh, so people are mentioning parrots, pigeons, magpies, loud, bossy, a light. I didn't know they were bossy. I knew they liked gleaming things. Crows, yeah, mean. A New Zealand pigeon called a carry, a chonky bird. All right, good. It's good. Tufted titmouse.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. Can you mute my other account because I'm talking on my other one still.
One is muted. So, oh, now they're both muted. Haha. I don't know which one you want to unmute, but
The other one says that I can't unmute.
oh, really? Okay. Oh, right. I just made you co-host on that account, so now you can. Oh, now I hear that echoing.
Okay. Now we should be good.
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
Um, and then Trisha says, I need examples of some other chonky birds, please. I didn't know magpies attacked birds during nesting season. That's good to know.
I mean, everybody's got the capability of meanness in them somewhere, I suppose, but
Candy is oh, I missed the Zoom. Candy is feeling swans and penguins. Rob, if you're going to be drawing on that, we're going to have to stop the screen sharing on the other thing, which I can do.
oh, yes. I'm sorry. Can we stop the screen sharing? Yep.
Yeah, I'll do that. Let me pull that up. Um, stop. There we go. And now, okay.
Cool. And everyone can hear me okay?
Yeah.
Cool.
And
Okay.
so we should be drawing, I put it in the chat, ourselves as three different birds, different personality types of ourselves.
Yep.
Okay. I can't.
Okay. I'm gonna awkwardly start, I suppose. Okay. The first bird I'm going to draw myself as is the pigeon that was in the picture. I'm going to go kind of fast. I like pigeons.
How long are we going to do this for these first three drawings for?
I guess as long as if people have an idea of what they want to do, they can go right into the comic.
No, we should do this the warm up. But I mean,
Okay, all right. So let's say I don't know.
I mean, are we talking like 3 minutes per bird or?
Let's say 3 minutes per bird.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so you tell us when to go, we'll go.
Oh, go.
Oh, okay. Fantastic.
3 minutes per bird.
I really like pigeons. They get a bad rap.
Oh, pigeons and seagulls.
That's right. Although I feel like this. I'm picking a pigeon because um okay, I eat my emotions and I'm not sorry about that. Okay.
What does that mean?
I mean, when I'm feeling emotional, I eat.
Oh.
And I was trying, and I've had a not necessarily a difficult week, just a very taxing week. And I have been craving everything you could possibly imagine to deal with my emotions instead of actually having to deal with my emotions. Um, so I was like, oh, pigeons, they're like little stomachs on legs. It's great. That's me. Tom, are you going to tell us when we are done with time?
Yeah, we got about a minute left.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
A little more than a minute, actually.
Okay. So like this and pigeon feet, kind of, I don't know. There you go. And okay, there, pigeon.
Nice. With 30 seconds to spare. It always surprises me that nobody eats pigeon.
They do in England.
Oh,
And
Yeah,
I think some other places too. Has anybody had pigeon in the chat? Because
that I would love to hear.
yeah, same. Okay, are we starting the second one?
Roast squab is pigeon, Elun says. Yeah, sure. My dad ate pigeons in Pennsylvania. Isn't that squab? Wow, no, I didn't know that. That's so interesting. Yeah,
Well,
people,
I wonder if they
people
call it, it's like what when they rebranded Chilean sea bass because it sounds better than what the actual fish name was. So they call it squab, so people don't know they're eating pigeon.
So what is Chilean sea bass?
It's got some other name. It was like a trash fish they couldn't do anything with, so they branded it as Chilean sea bass because
It is, it is fancy
it
sounding.
is fancy.
Toothfish, Elun says. Elun is all, he's got all the trivia tonight. All right, so the second bird, we're starting at 21 after. We'll go for three.
I have always been kind of fascinated with bowerbirds. And I went to Australia a few years ago and went to like this bird sanctuary, and it was so beautiful, and I was crying all over the place because it was really lovely. But um, they had this bowerbird, and if you're not familiar, bowerbirds collect trash and shiny objects in different of specific colors in some cases. Um, to attract a mate, and they build a nest and put all this shiny stuff in the nest, and they meticulously clean the nest. It's really adorable. Um, and we were walking by the cage of this bowerbird, and we caught it doing its mating dance ritual for the female, and she had zero interest, and it was like the funniest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Like he was like throwing bottle caps at her, like, look how amazing this is, and she couldn't care. It was great. But I'm a bit of a pack rat when it comes to shiny stuff, to be honest. So I sometimes feel like this. I'm kind of neat about some stuff, but I like little rocks and gems and things like that. I kind of just have them in stuffed in drawers and find them in my pockets and things like that. So, how much time, Tom?
Oh, right. I got really into that. One more minute.
Okay, I'm going to make this bowerbird say I found a blue. I was looking at reference photos that I took from Australia, and the one bird that we saw was just really into the blue stuff, which was funny.
I had an art teacher tell me that you should become a bowerbird. You should, collect the things that you're good at, the things that excite you, the things that you can present to clients as part of your skill set. And that's sort of our job is to be
A
little
great idea.
Yeah.
Guess we could all be a little bowerbird sometimes.
Yeah.
All right. I don't actually know what the tails look like.
So we got about 15 seconds on bird number 2. All I drew was the nest. I better throw in my bowerbird really fast. Luckily
Actually,
I
I
can
think
copy
they're
you.
this color, but I'm going to make my bowerbird.
Hmm.
This very.
Don't get carried away, Rob. We're past our 3 minutes.
I know. I can't help it. I just wanted to put blue.
It's all right. It looks great.
Okay.
So we'll start bird 3, right?
Yeah.
Bird
Do
3.
it.
I'm putting it in the chat. Um,
Okay.
we'll go for 3 minutes. Putting that in the chat. Oh, I don't have any ideas.
I don't particularly like this last bird that I'm doing, but feel like this. Drawing an ostrich.
Oh.
I feel, part of the conversation and the discovery that is happening in my book is, this idea of never kind of feeling comfortable in my skin.
Hmm.
Um, I really, I really love dance. I want to clarify. I don't dance. I love to watch people dance. I don't
Mhm.
dance, but I love, love, love ballet and modern dance and things like that. And I think there's a very clear correlation between not feeling comfortable dancing myself, therefore loving to watch other people do it. Um, but something about an ostrich, they're just so gangly and there and present. And I'm pretty tall, so it's rough to not want to stick out in a crowd when you're
Mm.
6'3" and you kind of stick out in a crowd. Um,
So you'd really
so
stick out if you were dancing, as you're
I would
right.
really, yeah, exactly, exactly. So um, I don't know. Sometimes I just feel like a big gangly ostrich. I put my ostrich in a Detroit cap because I'm always wearing my Detroit Tigers hat. Back in kind of like this. Yeah, someone said an emu. Sure, this could be an emu too. Emu's dancing. Sure, but I
Vanessa
also
said,
put a bandana on it because I wear bandanas. I
"Oh
was trying to
no."
really personify this one as me. Oops. I feel like thick thighs.
I'm drawing a turkey vulture and it's looking like a Skeksis. And now then I realized,
Well,
there you go, right?
what
That's
is
from
a skexis if not a turkey vulture, right?
so we've got about 20 seconds on bird number 3. Oh, more trivia. A kiwi has nostrils right at the end of its long beak. It
Oh,
probe
wait,
deep
so
into
like
the earth.
this
We'll ask it.
instead of this?
Oh, yeah, maybe. Sounds like
Interesting. Okay, there's me as an ostrich.
hmm.
There was a video game I played growing up called Joust. Most of
Oh
you are too
yeah.
young to remember
Sorry, go.
this. And it was just a bunch of little dudes riding ostriches jousting, and I that is just burned into my brain. Free real estate.
Uh, yeah, no, I
Not a
think
particularly good game, but
no, it was good because it had a sense of gravity to it that you were
yeah,
really
that's true.
feeling
That's true.
with the flapping,
Those ostriches were really working for it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I like Joust. Walter liked Joust too. He says,
oh, fantastic. Boop. Okay.
wow.
Turkey vultures are awesome.
Yeah. All right. So now put in the chat maybe what you drew. And so you're gonna do a one panel comic. Does that mean you already have it planned out? You know what you're gonna do?
No, I'm thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I just last year I think I tried doing a 4 panel one and I ran out of time, so I want to make sure I get done. But
Um,
so how
mean,
much time? 15 minutes? 10 minutes? 10 minutes? 5
well,
minutes?
I think 15 sounds about right. Or
Okay.
maybe at about 12 minutes we see how people are doing.
Okay.
So, and you're
Sounds
doing it.
fantastic.
Okay, so we have 12 minutes.
Okay.
2 to 3 panel comic or one panel if you want.
Okay. I think
Oh, wait, is there and in the I'm going to pull it up from the chat, but you specifically said there it is. Featuring one of your bird characters in an
yes.
environment. I'm going to write it down in the chat.
I mean, we have a
Uh,
couple different options. You could, if you wanted a couple of your bird characters to interact with each other, totally fine. I'm going to be choosing one of my bird characters and just put it in a situation, make a comic out of it. How it be interacting. I think I've been really feeling like a pigeon lately, so I think I'm gonna draw myself as a pigeon. So I'm gonna try to I think I have an idea of what I'm gonna do for that. I'm gonna draw a 1 panel comic, but I encourage you all if you have time to do 2 or 3, 4, 8, go nuts.
in our 12
Uh,
minutes.
mine might morph into more. We'll see. but
Okay, cool.
I want to take some time, I think, because last time I tried doing too much. And as I'm sure, Tom, you say all the time, there's no wrong way to do this.
Yeah. The only wrong way is hating it the whole time.
That's
Now,
right.
now
And if you're
that's,
hating it, pick a different bird
yeah.
or pick a bird that represents your hate.
Oh, turkey
There you
vulture.
go. I feel like I feel like tonight's just going to devolve into everybody. I love this, by the way. This isn't a bad thing. Just spitting bird facts for the whole time. It's going to be great. I'm very
We are
excited
getting,
about this.
yeah, we are getting a lot of bird facts in
I
the
feel
chat.
like we're living in a zoo books that I used to read when I was a kid.
We're also listing a lot of birds that haven't come up yet. Burrowing owl, the cormorant, the
Oh my
whippoorwill.
gosh.
Yeah.
I saw burrowing owls in western Nebraska, and they are the cutest, tiniest little things I've ever seen in my entire life.
Oh,
There's like giant eyes with legs. Okay.
now we got to think about that comment.
If I'm being quiet, it's just because I'm thinking, because I
Yeah.
cannot talk and think at the same time.
No, it's all right. For anybody with extra brain space, though, I will ask to keep the trivia going, your favorite songs about birds,
Ooh.
such as Bluebird by Paul McCartney slash Beatles. But we'd rather you were dry. But oh, when doves cry, something mentioned. Good. By the Partridge Family. Oh, Age of 17 by Stevie Nicks, just like the White Winged Dove. So good. So good.
I believe there's a town in Alaska that has like an overpopulation of bald eagles.
Oh,
And I mean, if you see pictures of it, it's like they're just sitting on, I mean, I'm talking like dozens and dozens and dozens of bald eagles just like sitting on every building and stuff and
oh wow.
harassing people and things like that. It sounds beautiful.
Yeah, it does.
I don't think the residents of that town particularly like it.
All right, I'm Googling that and I'll put one in I'll put a link in the chat.
Sounds good. I would love to know people's state birds or national birds too, because I think that's pretty interesting. I think Nebraska's is the meadowlark. I think.
Nebraska's the what?
Meadowlark, I think.
Oh,
Maybe.
Chris says the meadowlark might be for Kansas.
Uh, well, Nebraska and Kansas do share a lot of trivia too. I'll look it up later. Oh, here's my next question. Anybody in the chat been to Nebraska? And then my follow up to that is why? I really do like it here, but it's a fascinating place that does not get a lot of visitors. So I'm always really curious.
What's the Oh, Susanna's family is from there.
Oh,
So there you go.
oh, the College World Series, yeah, and the corn.
Trisha says I moved there for a boy I met when I was 18.
Oh,
My parents were obviously thrilled. She said,
oh, yeah. Okay, so we got some Iowans. Yeah,
yeah,
that makes sense.
Lincoln is the only place to go to vacation. Has a great zoo. Wow.
You know, my gripe with all the corn here is that nobody eats it.
Hmm?
It's all for feed and oil.
Oh, right.
And in Michigan, there's like a sweet corn stand in every country road. And I miss that very, very much
Hmm.
because sweet corn is one of the greatest things in the world. Oops, trying to draw how
Vanessa says, I'm in Michigan and I can confirm the corn stand situation.
they're great, right? My wife is from New York, so she will eternally have a chip on her shoulder, which is fair. And the first time she ever went to Michigan, if you go, especially in northern Michigan, people just leave trust buckets out. You know, if you want their fruit, just it's unattended. And she could not fathom that nobody's there watching these buckets for the money and that people are actually following it. And I was like, oh yeah, this is this is what they do. They follow the sign.
Wait, so you're drawing yourself as a human eating a hot dog. Wow, where's this going to go? You're really
I
starting
have an idea.
from left field.
Um, I need somewhere for the bird to perch, right? I also really love hot dogs, but I didn't think a hot dog themed class would fly. All right. I give serious props to any of you that are doing this longhand on paper, but I am too addicted to doing digital drawing. And I find myself, and I'm sure many of you have done this, I find myself when I'm drawing on regular paper and I do the two finger tap to try to erase what I did. And then it takes a sec for my brain to realize, like, oh, you dummy.
Wait, there's a two-finger tap? I know about the
If you draw something in two finger, it erases it.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Don't do that while crossing the street. That's what the mistake everybody makes is like, oh, it's stuck into traffic. I can just undo it.
That's
Just hit Control Z.
right.
Yeah, now it's the two-finger tap.
I'm gonna draw myself with crazy eyes because it's so unfeeling. I want the record to stay that I am okay. It's just been a very long week. Keep saying this.
Oh, there's the bird. Look at that. The beginning
Yep,
of the
bird is coming out. Bird's gonna be saying something. Front view. The bird needs to go up.
not exactly doing myself as a bird. I'm more like just having a bird story.
That's cool.
Yeah. Because
As long
birds
as
are
you're inspired.
really nice to draw, especially these bowerbirds.
They are fantastic little creatures. tail back there, something like that. Yeah, that's good. So, boom, boom. Okay. Now we need to make this bird. Hmm. Oops. Can't wait to catch up on the chat.
It's getting kind of
Can't.
quiet, actually. I think people are working.
Oh, there you go.
It has been 12 minutes, so we can begin to tell people that it's been 12 minutes and that maybe we'll do this for another 2 or 3 before before sharing a little bit, see how people are, see if people are ready. Um, it's been so long that that pigeon is not even like making any activity, making any movements to get that high.
Nope, I gotta stand there. Wait. I mean, that's what
Yeah.
the good ones do. They learn that if they
Oh,
are stay
true.
still away long enough, they're gonna get something out of it, you know? First time I ever left the country was to go to England, and in Trafalgar Square you can buy feed to feed the pigeons, and they will just, you hold out your arms and they just land on you all over the place. Very fond memories of that. I wonder if they still do that there.
Yeah, I mean, you got to get the squab somehow.
Pigeons to me are just wonderful, though. I don't know. They're very overlooked and very hungry. I'm not saying I'm overlooked, but I'm very hungry. And they're just very like, I'm going to keep talking to you till I get what I need. I can appreciate the hustle. Unrelated, we're not talking about squirrels, but so I work at the University of Nebraska Lincoln, and there was a squirrel that had a Chick-fil-A sauce pack, holding it up to its face and just licking all the sauce out. It was the most adorable thing I've ever seen.
Libby says, I got swarmed by pigeons at Trafalgar Square as a child.
Uh-oh.
Dirty black footprints all over my gray coat. Oh, wow.
Oh no. I'm sorry if I'm dredging up pigeon memories.
Yeah.
I'm just adding some shading to my thing while I have time.
Yeah, well, it's been 15 minutes. Maybe should
Okay.
we ask people if you are interested in sharing what you've done, raise your Zoom hand. Um,
Should I get back to my regular thing? I can turn this camera off.
uh, yeah, I'm gonna take a screenshot of that. You wanna, I've had a long, yeah, just zoom in a little bit so we can see it one more time. That's
Boop.
so great. Yeah. Boy, yeah, you keep talking about that long week you've had.
I know. I haven't had dinner yet either, so this is definitely fueling why I drew this tonight. And I plan on going home and just eating everything. So
All right. So yeah, I'm going to remove the spotlight, and then what I'll do is we'll go to the people who have hands raised, Nikki, Nancy, and Debbie for to begin with, and then Chris and Rob. Yeah, maybe if you I'm not sure which Rob I should go back to, but that Rob should probably raise their hand. Oh, there's the new
okay.
Rob.
Hi, I'm here.
Can you raise your Zoom hand?
Yeah, hold on one sec. There we go. No, I'm just on one.
Okay.
Can you see me? Can you hear me?
No, we
No?
cannot see you. We can hear you.
Oh, hey, there we go.
There we
Hello.
go. And you don't have a Zoom hand to raise, huh?
I don't. I'm so sorry.
Isn't that funny? Okay, so people will just have to hear your wonderful voice, mellifluous voice from afar as we highlight other people. So we'll go to Nikki, Nancy, Debbie, Chris. We got a handful of people up. Nikki is moving though all over the place. Should we? Nikki, are you ready to share or should we? Okay, thumbs up for Nikki. Let's see.
Sorry about that. I just had to turn the washing machine off.
Oh,
It just hit spin at the wrong moment. So, I love drawing birds. So this was like really cool. Let me just back screen. There we go. Can you still hear me? It just said you're not
yeah.
allowing unmute.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay, so these are my birds. So I did a pigeon and then realized I couldn't draw. I would have loved a sparrow. I have to practice drawing them. And a blackbird and a kiwi. And that's what I meant by the nostrils right on the end of its beak. They're not up this end, they're way down there, which is really weird. Anyway, so I seem to be like really getting into Christmas things at the moment. So this is my one panel comic. I've got my blackbird and some little silver eyes and a disabled kiwi decorating the Christmas tree.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
No color today, sorry.
Okay. That's lovely.
Thanks, Nikki.
It was fun. Thank you very much.
It's in June. Yeah, thanks. Okay, we'll go to
Yeah, I like don't understand myself, but I've been in Christmas mode for about a month. So long may it continue. I might get Christmas done this year.
Awesome.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you.
We'll go to Nancy next and then Debbie after that.
Okay, this is a true story. The Blue Jays had babies by the fence, and one of them fell into the yard. And the cat, whose name is Birdie, was waiting for the baby. So Birdie grabbed the baby, and it was squawking like crazy. And the alerted not just two Blue Jays, there must have been 10 or 15 of them, and they were all dive bombing him. So he came charging. He saw me drawing on the porch, and he came charging over the rail with the birds in hot pursuit. And then he dropped the baby bird, and the bird started attacking me, and I had to run in the house and abandon the whole project.
Oh no. This is like when you name your pet, and I had a dog named Chewy, and guess what he learned how to do very, very well, you know. So
Exactly.
the bird is just doing what you named it to do, right? Or the
That's
cat,
right.
sorry.
The cat.
Awesome. Thanks, Nancy. We'll go to Debbie. All right, let's see. And then Chris next after that.
Oh, I just did the Carrero, and it says, I'm all about embracing my inner chunkiness or my chunkiness. That was all. And then I guess for the three birds, I did the Australian raven and the Carrero and the Nanking night heron.
Beautiful.
Well,
How do we define chonky?
It's oversized. If you look up a picture of that New Zealand pigeon, you'll see it's a really big bird with little white overalls.
Thanks, Debbie. And great drawings behind you. We love those.
Oh, thanks.
We'll go to Chris and Mari and Nikki.
Thanks. I tried drawing three birds. One of them's a crow. And so I drew a crow saying, you know, they named Shakespeare after me. And then this other bird, this is a secretary bird, says, well, there's got to be an Avenger named after me.
Love that. Aren't secretary birds those kind of, they're really big, right? And they're kind of
Yeah, yeah, they're pretty big.
terrifying is the
Yeah.
word I'm looking for. Yeah.
Thanks very much. It was fun.
Awesome, Chris. Thanks. Okay, we will go to Mari next, and then Nikki, and then Elun. Here we go.
Sorry, my headphones don't have a microphone.
Oh.
So I have a loggerhead shrike. I've got all of my different birds tattooed on me. So I've got my albatross and a few others. So when you say, think of birds as a part of yourself, that's kind of literal. I've got a few different bits of bird on me. But one of and sadly I can't show this tattoo, but I have a loggerhead shrike and grew up in Florida. So these little guys are everywhere. And it's a part of me that's very indecisive and it's asking, maybe I should get a fridge. The shrikes are very fond of just sticking little bits of food everywhere they can, but they always change up where they put it. So they lose things often, as do
I love
I.
that.
Wow. They really like.
I feel like we'll have to have a bird tattoo club on this call. I feel like there's probably a lot of us with bird tattoos on this call, I would imagine.
All right. Put that in the chat if you have a bird tattoo. I have a wombat tattoo, so that doesn't count. Okay, we'll go to we'll go to Nikki next.
I did three birds, a hippie parrot slouching along there, a laughing gull, because I love the ocean. The bottom one there is the owl, which is the one I did the continued with, because it really reminded me of insomnia challenges. And it just says, does anyone actually sleep in the wee hours of the morning? So that was that. That was fun. Thank you.
That's fantastic.
Awesome. Thank you, Nikki. I love the glasses on that. Okay, we'll go to Elun next.
Okay, as usual, I did mine on the computer, so I don't know if I can
Alright.
share a screen here.
You're set. Yep.
Okay, so I tried to challenge myself a little more than usual, because usually I just don't bother doing color or except maybe a little bit of spot color on the Friday Night Comics. This time I tried to use more color than I normally do, again, try to challenge myself and get a little work done. So the first bird was a Nuttall woodpecker, which I picked honestly for two reasons initially that didn't have to do with personality, which is A, the red fluff and red hair, and the B, because actually, again, Alan Clue is my pseudonym. My real last name actually is Nuttall. I don't know whether the Nuttall woodpecker is named after was a relative or not, but because he shares my name, I figured that was appropriate. But then I realized there kind of was a personality thing too, and that I often feel like I'm banging my head against things. So I don't know. So we'll go with the woodpecker for that reason. And the kakapo for which is a kind of flightless parrot that I guess because I don't know, the kakapos just seem so, I mean, they can't fly, they seem so awkward getting around, and I don't know, often sometimes I feel like I'm not really can't really accomplish anything that people can. So I feel kind of the awkward self-deprecating part of me is the kakapo, I suppose. And then last, it's a weaver bird, just because they build really elaborate. I forgot to give it a tail. Oops. I'm going to cheat and give it a tail now. Well, after I do this, before I actually submit it. I forgot the tail. But weaver bird, just because they make really elaborate nests, and I figured that I like to create things, so I figured that would fit. Again, I'm going to cheat and add the tail after I do this, but before I submit it to the PDF, so it will have a tail. I just forgot that. So I went with the the woodpecker, and just the banging its head against things theme. So just woodpecker, and I added the blue jay does not represent me. That's some other bird. So I'm industriously, I guess. There we go. Tail. Industriously, I guess, just banging my head against the tree. And the other bird says, "Yeah, I don't think there are any bugs in there. Don't think there are any bugs in that tree. I know. So why are you doing that? I don't know." And just tendency to bang my head against things, like I said. So there's my my comment.
That's great. That's really great.
There we go.
Yeah, woodpecker makes a lot of sense. I didn't see it come up much in the chat. Thanks, Elun. Okay, we'll go to Nilafar and then Sin and then Amaya. If Nilafar is ready, they'll come on screen. Here we go.
Hello. Can I have a permission to share my screen, please?
Yeah, go ahead. You can do that.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, and go. Okay. Um, Here it is. These are my three birds. I I kind of talk too much and like to wear colorful dresses, so I choose a pirate for the first one. I like shiny things and accessories, so I use the crow, raven maybe, and the finch because I'm short and people make fun of me and make me angry. Yeah, and the comic is this. It's me and my boyfriend. My boyfriend will be a tall, shy eagle in a night helmet all the time. It's that we're just standing next to each other. He starts patting on my head. We always do that, and I get angry and just moving my wings, and I will be like, "Stop patting me!" And he will be like, "Open the helmet and say you're cute and small."
Patronizing eagle boyfriend.
Great.
Shy eagle.
Thanks, Nilufar. Thank you. Okay, we'll go.
Thank you.
Sure, we'll go to Sin next. Here we go. And I may have to stop the sharing. Hang on. I'll do that. Hang on a second. No. Oh, there we go.
Hi. I'm a big believer in the conspiracy theory birds aren't real. So I drew, here's some of the birds I drew, like the Raven King, a bird, hummingbird, and some crazy lady. So here's my comic. You know, the birds that are cameras, they recharge on phone wires, and the other birds are looking at them. And then the camera bird says, wireless?
That's great.
Thanks.
Thanks so much. I only heard about that conspiracy a couple days ago. Sounds pretty.
Wow. You have to believe in something.
Right. That's right.
Right. Wonderful. Thanks, Ben. Okay, we'll go to Amaya next, and then Walter after that.
Hi. Hoping that I won't echo. I'm gonna try and show what's on my iPad and hopefully it will actually show. The bird that I first started off with, I don't remember what they're called, but they're like little birds that like run in the sand, like the little sandpipers, I think they're called. I love those birds. They're awesome. I thought it was a little too cute and didn't have enough personality. And then I tried myself as a dove because my middle name is Dove. And my family calls me that, but I felt like doves are usually supposed to be very elegant, and I tried to draw myself as a very vain, and concerned with her plumage dove. So that's with some product, looking at a feather, and then the one that I settled on was a kookaburra. I love kookaburras. I don't know if anybody ever grew up like listening to, there's like a kind of like a nursery rhyme song about kookaburras, the Australian bird. They are very loud and they laugh a lot. So there's me as a kookaburra. And I was trying to think about what to do with the comic for the kookaburra, and the other day, I was really tired in the morning before work and sprayed my hair, like instead of with product, sprayed it with isopropyl alcohol in a spray bottle. I don't know how I did that. It ended up being fine, but it wasn't fun in the moment. And I learned when reading about kookaburras that they eat snakes. So here's the comic. Starts off with me as a kookaburra looking in the mirror, being very unhappy with how my bangs look. Let's see if I can hold and move it. And then there's me in the mirror reaching out for a product to fix it. And then reaching and accidentally grabbing a snake instead of my hair product. And then me getting sprayed in the face with snake venom and having my hair destroyed, my plumage destroyed instead of fixed. So there's my comic. Thank
That's
you.
great.
Awesome. Thanks, Amaya. That was great. Okay, we'll go to Walter next. And then Kalaine after that.
I went a little bit different. Everybody drew themselves as birds, but I kind of turned birds into me. Kind of like the bobbit or rabbit rather. So there's an owl me and a ostrich me, and then a penguin in a Hawaiian shirt me. And that's a pretty cool new avatar. So I did this strip with him, telling a story at a bar trying to get a free drink. It's kind of a Sergeant Bilko penguin. And I may keep that avatar. It was really fun. And I'll just have you know, this killed my ink pen tonight. So
Need new cartridge.
thank you. This was great.
Awesome, Walter. Thanks. Okay, we'll go to Colleen next. Here we go. And then Mozan after that.
And so these are my birds. Whoop, there. So I have a burrowing owl and a turkey vulture. And I started drawing a catbird, but it started to look like it was in Mad Max. Which is not a bad thing.
No, that's a great thing.
It's not really, catbirds are really kind of sweet. So that was odd that it went that way. But then I sort of expanded on the burrowing owl because I'm just absolutely obsessed with them. And one of the things about burrowing owls is that they actually migrate from southern Alberta, like all the way to the tip of South America. So for such a tiny little bird, they go really long distances. And also a lot of times burrowing owls will make little, they like pipes and stuff, man-made sort of nests to burrow in at airports. So I think of them always as being kind of on the go and on their way to other places. So kind of lovely.
Love that. That's great. That's great.
Yeah, we didn't get a lot of discussion of migration in this call. So appreciate that. Thanks, Colleen.
Which, by the way, that reminds me, a pitch to come to Nebraska, y'all, is every sandhill crane in the world comes to Nebraska. It's one of the most beautiful things ever. There's like 30,000 of them at once, like all squad. It's like one of the most beautiful sights you can ever see. It's incredible.
Oh, wow. Well,
that's my pitch.
When is that? Here, we'll go to Mozan next.
It happens in March and it happens in October.
Wow. Hi, Mozan.
Hi, hello. So it's actually Mojan. I'm
Mozan?
sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I drew myself as a bat because it is 3:30 in the morning here.
That's fine.
So this is me drawing in the middle of the night, and then I realized it's morning, and then I go back to drawing, and then I panic. It's morning. So yeah, that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I mean, a bat's just a bird with fur, right?
With fur.
Yeah.
A
That's
leather.
legit.
We'll go to Sophia next. Thanks, Mojan. See if Sophia is ready. And then, or maybe we'll go to Michael. Oh, here comes Sophia.
Hi. Wait. Okay. Video on. Yes. Can you see me? Hi.
Yeah.
I'm on.
There we go.
Okay. Cool. I got here late. I didn't fully hear the prompt. But I kind of pieced something together. Maybe. I drew a seagull. Here. Can you see? Maybe can you see? Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know how you do this. Okay. I drew a seagull on top of a mountain of stolen French fries. I was thinking if I was a seagull, that might be something I would do, kind of like a dragon in its lair type scenario. Just be stealing all of the French fries and hiding them somewhere real good to eat later. But maybe also some amount of like relishing and just the French fries. And the presence of them. I was also really inspired by the idea of parrots. I didn't get that far into it, but when I was a kid, I had this friend who had two parrots, or had a parrot, and then like it was like a whole thing, and the parrot was lonely, so they had to get another parrot, and the parrots, they were always like so communicative and talking very loudly all the time, and very flamboyant, and I love them. They had a lot of character, so
that's great.
Maybe later I can be more inspired. Thank you.
Awesome, Sophia. Sophia, are you in Flushing Meadows?
I am.
Saw the globe on the other side. It's amazing.
Oh my God.
Everyone, there's your shot of Queens for the night. So wonderful. It must be a beautiful
I mean,
night.
and I suppose bonus points for drawing birds out in
Yeah.
nature.
Yeah.
Right?
For sure.
All right. Thank you,
Thank you,
Sophia.
guys.
We'll go to
Bye.
Michael next.
I grew up in Flushing. That was really weird.
Oh,
Can I share my screen?
you should be able to. You're a co-host. There you go.
So I went with the shoe bill stork. I almost went with the blue-footed booby. Just because I love saying blue-footed booby. Um, but I didn't finish writing it. I've been so damn cranky lately. I hate myself when I'm like this. And then that's all I got. I just
That's
had a lot
great.
of fun.
Look at those glasses.
Blue bill stork.
Yeah. Now these are also terrifying birds, if I remember correctly. Yes.
Yeah, they're very prehistoric. I've watched a lot of videos with them. They tend to bow, and zookeepers or other human beings bow with them. I don't think they're as nasty as they look, but they do have
Okay, that's fair.
Jurassic, and I feel kind of prehistoric. So
Thanks, Michael.
Thank you.
All right, we're gonna go to Edgar next, then Jürgen, then Allison. So,
Well, thank you. It's good to meet another Russell. So thank you for
Hey,
the
yes.
inspiration tonight. I'm Edgar Russell.
Maybe we're
and
related. Who knows?
we could be. We'll have to check. Anyway, this is my piece. It's Edgar's life through the decades as a bird. It was an evolutionary process in my journey to become a bird at age 8. Look, Mommy, the first robin of spring. As a teenager, I discovered birds would respond to my cheeping. Cheep, cheep. And the birds would actually call back, cheep, cheep. Amazing, aren't I? It was a romantic interest, Faye, who drew me as a bald eagle, I think because I was in the military, and herself as a horse. So she drew a beautiful color pastel drawing. It was my goth friend, Countess Liza, who convinced me to write 3 plays for Halloween performances, each of which, misspelled, concerned Edgar Allan Poe and his bird equivalent, the raven. The last was entitled The Last Haunted Days of Edgar Allan Poe. And you can see Edgar as Edgar. My wig was cut and styled by my actual hairstylist for 50 years, Marengo. And here I'm going to work this into a dramatic raven somehow with lighting. Now, the last panel, I'm still working on it. Now, what is next for me? So that remains to be seen. I'll work on that this weekend. So thank you.
Beautiful. Fantastic, Edgar.
I appreciate that very much.
amazing.
And break a leg on your next drawing too.
Thank you.
Thanks, Edgar. And someday we will get that graphic memoir via Friday Night Comics, I think, from Edgar.
I think so. Yes, I'm very grateful to you all.
Thanks. Okay, we'll go to, is it Jürgen or Jürgen?
Jürgen, yep.
Jürgen.
And one of my, oh, you can't see it, can you?
Oh,
It's
you'll have
not
to unblur the background.
unblur the background.
Okay, that'll be under your
Hang
video.
on a second. Oh, now you see the truth about my background. Flamingo, because I am also, I'm 6'7" tall, so I share our instructor's self-consciousness. I will go directly to the gag sort of thing, which is Edgar Allan Poe again. Raven is saying nevermore, and Edgar says, must he always be so negative? And that's it.
That's great.
Yeah, that's a great looking Raven and a great looking Edgar.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Jürgen. Thank you very much. Allison is next, then Christian, then Ian. All right, here we go.
Hi. Okay. I ended up drawing 3 birds. Well, I started off with the main assignment. I started off drawing 3 birds, sort of crow, raven, mourning doves, and then a house sparrow. Those were like the first 3 birds that came to mind when thinking about myself. And what I eventually ended up doing was, how do I explain this? Oh, well, here we go. So for me personally, as much as I love crows, I'm a huge crow fan in real life, but in my headspace, crows or any large blackbird have this sort of Hitchcockian connection to like anxiety and panic for me. And mourning doves are one of my favorite birds that I see here in the LA area, but they're also a very anxious, skittish bird, I've noticed, and I can relate to that as someone who is very anxious. So I tried to just show them as sort of dueling entities in my headspace, one representing sort of panic attacks, intrusive thoughts, anxiety, and then the other one being a more positive, mindful influence, up there. And yeah, I also have words written out and stuff, but I think it would be too much to go through it all.
I'll show us a little
That's
bit.
fantastic.
Oh, okay. Well, on the crow, it started off, I realized I had too much like white space, so I was trying to fill it in with words, and then I realized like, oh, I should focus on some of the more positive things that, we work on in therapy and various self-help books. And so the crow is just like, what if, and it has panic, panic, panic written all over the feathers. And then in purple it says, what if something amazing happens? And then the rest of the words are more positive, but they would be a lot to get through in one presentation. So I'll wrap it up there.
Thanks, Allison.
Fantastic.
Danke.
All right, we'll go to Christian, then EA, and then Michaela. Here we go. Well, I think Christian's going to come on. Maybe we'll go to EA first. EA Parker. Yeah, we'll go to you first, then we'll come to Christian. There we go.
Hey, I was choosing between the whippoorwill because I'm kind of secretive and live in the trees, and a night dweller. The cormorant, because until I stopped a while ago, I kind of got to know the world through fishing, and so spending time on the water and interacting with amphibious environments was kind of like my way. But I am also going to give a burrowing owl piece. I grew up in the desert and love these guys for their kind of deranged attitudes and their ability to vanish. So in my bit, I have a little burrowing owl deciding whether to go out, thinking against it, thinking against it, thinking against it, developing some level of resolve, leaving the burrow only to get blown back in.
Oh, look at that.
Thanks.
Awesome.
I feel like burrowing owls have to be the bird of choice tonight. I feel like everybody's been doing burrowing owls. It's fantastic,
I like that. The bird of choice.
Hello?
Hang on, Christian. We'll come back to you after Michaela. Here we go, Michaela.
Hi, I really enjoyed drawing. I have my hand in front of my mouth because I don't have any teeth right now. But I enjoyed drawing the individual birds, and then I drew this. I wonder if you can guess what that is.
That's good. That's good.
Enough
Those
said.
are some good bird characters.
Enough said. Thank you.
Enough said. Thanks, Michaela. Guess we lost Christian. He'll probably come back. Robert, I'm going to spotlight you again. Because I think that's our final. Thanks so much. Wow, this was fun and freeing and groovy. And there's so many bird things to think about. Burrowing and flying. And no one answered properly. Maybe Nikki did. But I had a question in the chat. I was asking how you define fowl, F-O-W-L. Is it particular to, like, is a goose a fowl? No? Nobody knows. All right.
I don't know.
That's
a good
really
question.
There were a lot of trivia happening, but I didn't get a satisfactory.
Yeah, that's a good question. Is fowl something we eat? Is it defined by that, maybe?
No.
Like chicken, turkey? I don't know.
I don't think so. Well,
I'm
anyway.
gonna look it up tonight then.
Oh, Nikki's on. Oh, Nikki's going to answer the question, I think. Nikki, is that?
They're like a flocking ground bird of a particular shape and a particular habitat. So geese don't kind of fit because they also like the water in bits and pieces. So it's things like chickens, guinea fowl, all those kind of birds.
So
and
geese.
they can be used as like game birds as well. So they're kind of classed as fowl.
Oh, okay. That helps.
Okay.
Yeah.
Noted.
Is it good? Good question though. It's something people don't normally ask. So
yeah,
it's kind of a good question. Random
We ask
question.
the hard questions here. All right. Thanks,
that's right.
Mickey.
Hard hitting questions.
All right. Well, tell us one more moment. I'm going to ask everybody to unmute and send you off with a round of applause. But tell us again about your book and when it's coming out and stuff like that. And I'll remind everybody really fast though. Please share on social media. You can hashtag us at Comics Workshop. Hashtag Friday Night Comics. You can tag us at Comics Workshop. You can tag Rob at Rob Hollywood. But you can also upload. I'll put it in the chat. We've been doing these PDFs. The link is in the chat. Anyway, tell us about the book coming out and when it's coming out.
It's called Hard Body. It'll be out from Simon & Schuster at some point in the next year or so. We're still working out the details of that. But if you follow me on social media, I will be very, very loud when it gets closer to coming out. So.
Okay, very, very loud.
Yes.
Awesome. I will ask everyone to unmute. There we go. Thanks very much, Rob. It's so nice to see you.
Thank you, Rob.
Thank you all. Thank you all. Tremendous. Y'all are so inspiring.
Rob.
Merry Christmas,
Have a good
everybody.
Friday.
So inspiring.
Comic.